You are Locked On NBA Crossover, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, hello and welcome into the Locked On Clippers Heat Crossover Postcast. I am Pete Fox. He's Jim Greasehaber. And we're here tonight to break down Clippers Heat. How's it going, Jim? It's been a while. We haven't talked since baseball season. We're here to talk NBA tonight. And I don't know how you come away from this game, but after what the Clippers did last night in a very frustrating performance in a game they should have won in New Orleans, tonight felt pretty good. Shooting nearly 60%, 59.2. I come away from this one feeling pretty happy about the Clippers' performance.
Well, you should. And I'll just say one thing, Pete. Coming off of it's a back-to-back for the Clippers, 4 straight road losses. And you would think going to Miami, the Heat have the advantage. But here's been the issue with the Heat, one of many, ever since Jimmy Butler decided to be a petulant little baby and worm his way out of town. And that's what he did. Let's be real. It's exactly what he did. And he sabotaged the entire season, and he didn't give one crap about it. And that's today's landscape in professional sports. But I digress. But this game in and of itself, it's just been Miami Heat lately has been a team that race out to a big lead. Wiggins and Adebayo score big in the first quarter, second quarter, Herro in the second half, and they blow it down the stretch. Tonight was rare for Miami. Very rare, and they haven't been good at home at all, but very rare from the standpoint that they were not. I didn't feel like they were ever really in this game. Even when they got close, Pete, it didn't really seem like they were that close.
This is what you'll be talking about.
That's very, very interesting, because one of my notes on this game is Miami just kept coming, kept hanging around. They didn't ever really go away. So that, to me, even in a loss, it felt like it wasn't that bad. I mean, look, it kind of came unraveled at the end. And thanks in large part to the performance of Bogdan Bogdanovich, who I think we should be talking about. Clipper fans will definitely be talking about him tomorrow, because this is the best performance he's had as a member of the Clippers. 38 minutes, 11 of 16 for 30 points. But it felt like, to me, because of Tyler Herro, they just kept hanging around. They were like, we're not done yet. But when it mattered in that final 5 minutes, the Clippers started to pull away, widen the gap, get a few stops. And that was another big factor for me tonight from the stat sheet, was the rebounding game for the Clippers. 45 rebounds versus 29. That is a dominant performance.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's been the MO for Miami. They get out-rebounded. They get outscored in the paint, Pete, but the thing that they usually do is they force more turnovers than their opponent, and they get those deflections and those steals, and they get out in transition. And always, and you know what, when you're playing against the James Harden team, there's an asterisk there, because James Harden's a throwback, right? Love him or not, like him or not, whatever you feel about Harden, turning back the clock a little bit, he's still playing elite basketball. He was the maestro out there. Zubac and, of course, Bogdanovich were the beneficiaries, and they had a huge game, 56 points combined. But to me, it was Harden pulling the strings, getting to the line, setting his teammates up. Usually the Heat will shoot more free throws than their opponent, Pete. But when a James Harden team comes to town, and I haven't looked at the final stats on the free throws yet. Let me take a peek right now. Yeah, the Clippers shot 10 more free throws than Miami. And that's, they missed 8 of them, thank the Lord, for Miami, or this would have been a 20-point blowout.
Yeah, the Clippers have been really bad at the free throw line lately, and in a fairly confident win, 66% tonight. And James Harden, who had a very good game, and as you have said, is the leader of this team, in spite of Kawhi Leonard, he's the guy that keeps them floating above the water lately. And ultimately, without James Harden, they would not be where they are. But that comes with a ton of frustration as a fan, because tonight, 6 of 23 of 8, and he's had those kinds of nights of late where it's good, but it's okay, I guess, is another way of putting it. You would just want a little bit more. So I think tonight was a little better, but not much. From beyond the arc, it definitely was. But 6 of 20 from the floor, that is a subpar performance for James Harden.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And he gets to the line, which makes up for that, right? So even if he has a cold night shooting, he's still going to get his numbers. He knows what he's doing. He's a pro. But what I think he's done is been that solid veteran presence. Miami usually gets that from Bam Adebayo, but here's the problem, Pete. Bam can't score. And lately he's been scoring, right? And he's been flowing in the offense, and he's been getting those points. He's not an elite scorer. Lately been playing a ton of minutes, getting a lot of shots and scoring some points. Tonight took a dip on the offensive end of the floor and just hasn't been super consistent all year long. And what it really was to me tonight, Miami gets so close, right? When Pelle Larsson made that play, Pete, and he's diving on the floor, and he finally hits Terry Rozier, hits that three. The fans are going, Pelle Larsson's WWE and up, and everything goes. Then the Clippers come right out of that timeout 7-0 run. They put James Harden right back in the game at that moment, and to me, that's where the game was won. The 7-0 run by the Clippers right when Miami got close with Pelle Larsson and everything that he was doing on the floor tonight. But the Clippers had a lot of veteran poise, and Miami just seems to find ways throughout the game. Every time they get close, Pete, it's been an epidemic with them, especially in the fourth quarter. They get close, and then they kind of, just fall apart there. And tonight, to me, what I meant by Miami was never really in the game is they never really had the lead. They were down by 10 at the end of the first quarter, a 20-point first quarter, their lowest scoring first quarter since September. Just a bad October, just a bad night for Miami all the way across the board offensively until Herro got going in the second half. But every time they got going, the Clippers had an answer.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I totally agree with you right there. I felt like, this is the opportunity where the Heat get back into this game after Rozier hit that three. And the Clippers came lately for the Clippers. One of the things that has frustrated don't fall over. One of the things that's frustrated me about the Clippers lately is that they get runs, but then they turn right around and give up runs. And tonight they weren't giving up too many runs. They had their fair share of runs, which was nice to see. But at the end of quarters, which has been another problem spot for them tonight, it was fine. It wasn't great, but it was okay. Better than what we've seen of late, where they, will go on a nice 11-2, 11-3 run, and then right at the end of the quarter, give up a 9-0 run or an 11-3 run like they did last night. So they did a lot of good things tonight, and without Kawhi Leonard, it feels like a pretty good spot to be in coming off a loss last night, which they really should have won that game. I mean, it's the Pelicans, and they're not that good. Although, Zion can play. Zion is a load, and he just didn't have a ton of help, but they still got the win. Tonight, the load was, let's do the player of the game after the break. We have a new format here on the POSTCAST, shorter and sweeter. So, a lot punchier. We got to get to the point faster. No rambling around for 28 minutes now. We're going to give you a hard and fast 15. So, we'll hit the break, Jim, and then when we come back, we'll do player of the game, and we'll get into Zubac's performance and a little bit more about Tyler Herro's performance because I thought he was fantastic. It's the Locked On Clippers Heat crossover postcast on the Locked On Sports Miami and LA YouTube channels. All right, I'll go first, Jim. I'm going to do Skims here, okay? When I found out that Skims was making underwear for men, I was intrigued. I've heard so much about them from my wife. She's like, I love Skims. I didn't know at the time when I first heard about them, they were Kim Kardashian's underwear. But now that I know they are, I'm like, I feel, as you pointed out, Jim, I feel kind of fancy wearing the Skims underwear. My wife got them for me for Christmas, and they're fantastic. I throw them in my underwear drawer with all the ones I got from Costco, which, they do the job, but they're no Skims. Skims take it to a whole nother level. So if you're interested in upgrading your underwear game, check out Skims at skims.com. The men's store is right there on the website. So Skims Men's is at skims.com. Skims is the official underwear partner of the NBA, WNBA, and USA Basketball.
Unbelievable, Pete. And I'll just say this. I'll echo that. I have some Skims myself. And, when your lady buys you something, I have a great wardrobe. Everything my lady buys me, people stop me and go, hey, man. And not Skims because they can't see those.
Including your underwear?
Not
nice
my underwear,
dude.
Not my underwear, but not yet anyway. But we're working on that, Pete. But I want to tell you guys right now about TurboTax, right? It's that time of year, Pete. No matter how you feel about tax season, you got to take care of business, right? So this is a message from Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was waiting and wondering and worrying if you were ever going to get any money back, and then waiting, wondering, and worrying some more. Now, Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes as soon as today. An expert who gives your taxes their undivided attention as they work on your return while you get real-time updates on their progress so you can focus on your day. An expert who will find you every deduction possible and every file form, every investment, everything with 100% accuracy. Also, you can get the most money back guaranteed. No waiting, no wondering, and no worries. That's right. This is taxes. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live full service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile apps. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantee.
All right, Clippers get back on the winning side of things tonight. 119-104 over the Miami Heat. They're now 36-30, while the Heat fall to 29-36. Bogdanovich, everyone calls him Bogey. So I'm getting used to that. I'm not quite there on the bogey yet, but he had a deep three in the third, which was huge for them. I think the bigger standout stat for Bogdanovich tonight was a 6-for-6 start for him. So let's do this real quick.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
For me, Jim, on the Clippers side of the thing, because he was out there for longer than anyone, 38 minutes, only missed 5 shots, 4 threes, perfect from the line, a double-double, 30 to go with 11 rebounds. Bogdan Bogdanovich, for me, not even close player of the game, because this is his best game as a Clipper. So that one was pretty easy, although Zubac was fantastic, which he has been of late, and I feel like we're getting a little too used to that. His 11th consecutive double-double, 26 to go with 13 rebounds in 37 minutes, only missed 4 shots, 12 of 16. But for me, the Clipper player of the game, Bogdan Bogdanovich. What about for you in the Heat?
Well, this one is self-explanatory, and he's literally selecting himself, Pete, for this, because it happens almost every night. I usually give 3 stars of the game when I do the Heat. It's like a hockey style thing, the 3 stars. But when I look at what Tyler Herro has done this year, the All-Star, the three-point shooting champion at All-Star Weekend, but he's carried so much of the load for this Heat team because of Jimmy Butler and his crybaby little binky and blanket that he had all year long. So Tyler Herro has been that for the Miami Heat. This season would be a disaster without him. Look, 4 games ago, we were talking about the Heat not having been under, 4 games under 500. Now they're 7 games under. Without Tyler, they might be 15 under. 31 points tonight, 13 of 23. Still not doing so great with the 3. He's hit a little bit of a lull with that ever since, ironically, All-Star Weekend. But 6 rebounds, 7 assists, doing it all, 15 points in the third for Miami. Big play after big play. And he was literally alone out there, except for Wiggins on offense tonight. And Bam's got to get more than 7 shots, Pete. It's ridiculous. He's been scoring 25 a game lately. For him to only shoot the ball 7 times is a disgrace.
Yeah, Wiggins wasn't bad. 9 of 17, 2 of 7 from beyond the arc, 5 assists for 22 points. Speaking of assists, James Harden, who had 24 points, a double-double because he had 11 assists, but none prettier than that one he made, dribbled into the lane, and no look behind the head out to Derrick Jones Jr. in the corner there, who promptly banged down a 3. That was one of the sweetest no-look passes I think I've ever seen, because usually the no-look pass is kind of a side-handed sort of thing or behind the back. The over-the-head kind of just chucking it in his direction was fantastic. I was like, wow, that didn't probably get enough credit during the broadcast, because that pass was awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. And I look at the Clippers right now as an elite team, man. I wonder how this team, Pete, is in 8th place right now. I know Kawhi Leonard's never there. And if he can get, good Lord, if he can get healthy, right? With Harden, with Bogdanovich, with Zubac, with this team that they have, they could be a team that no one wants to see in the postseason. And I look at the West compared to the East. The 7th seed in the West is Minnesota. They're 37-29. The 7th seed in the East is Atlanta. They're 32-34. So Miami, lucky they're in the East on top of everything else. The West is stacked for the Clippers to be as good as they are and be in the 8th slot right now.
Well, they're just very inconsistent. What you saw tonight from the Clippers, Jim, is not normal for them. They played pretty much 48 minutes tonight. I mean, They finished the first half shooting 61% from the floor and 40% from beyond the arc. They finished the game at 59% and 48%. So the 3-point shooting went up and the field goal shootings pretty much stayed the same. They don't do that. That is not their game. They have these runs. I mean, similar to what you saw from the Heat a little bit tonight. They have these runs where they get back into it and you're like, okay, here we go. Now it's time to pull ahead, and they'll pull ahead by 2 or 4 and then give up an 11-0 run at the end of a quarter and be right back where they were. And it's super frustrating. But tonight they didn't have that. It felt like a complete win, and the numbers show that. So hopefully they can build on this. It's interesting that Kawhi wasn't a part of it. He seems healthy. They don't like to play him on back-to-backs. I scratch my head sometimes and go, really? He needs to be out there more because he's also very inconsistent. He's had some big nights lately. I think he had 29 a couple of games ago. But he's been. I think the situation with Kawhi for me is I expect too much. For about 5 or 6 games there last week, he was averaging like 24 points, and I'm like, I need more. I want more from Kawhi Leonard. But
he should give you more for what he's gotten and what he's given. Right. The ratio's way off.
Exactly. But, Batum's been good. He had 6 tonight, a couple of threes. Zubac, we talked about that, 12 of 16, 26 points. Harden, 6 of 20 in 38 minutes, 3 threes. Missed 4 free throws, which is a little surprising. 24 points for him. Bogdan, 4 threes for 30 points and 11 boards. And Chris Dunn, 24 minutes, just 4 points. Off the bench, Derek Jones had 8, and Amir Coffey, 3 threes for 13 points. So a pretty complete win tonight for they're off tomorrow, and then they take on the Hawks in Atlanta on Friday. What do you guys have coming up?
Well, I'll tell you this real quick before we hit that. I just want to say that Duncan Robinson in double figures again. I think it's 9 games in a row off the bench, and I really feel like it's he's hitting his stride. 5 of 9 off from 3. They need a lot from him offensively. Terry Rozier still not getting it done. Pete, in single digits again, had that 1 big 3. Pella Larson inspiring play off the bench with 10. Other than that, it was Herro and Wiggins. Bam had a really bad game offensively, impactful in every other area of the game with the rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, all that stuff, but they need him to score a lot more. So for Miami, it's been dreadful. They've lost 5 in a row or 6 in a row now, and 7 out of 8. Most of them were fourth quarter collapses until tonight, where they just trailed early and never were able to get back in the game. So I want to say this about the Heat. They have a nationally televised game coming. Doesn't it seem like when everything's falling apart, the wheels are coming off? Hey, here comes national TV against the defending champion Celtics on Friday night. Then you're at the Grizzlies, at the Knicks. Pistons come to town. Rockets come to town. Hornets come to town, who just beat them in Miami. They lost to the Hornets on this losing streak, Pete. So it hasn't been a good run for Miami. I think they're kind of settling into the team that they really are at this point. They're looking toward next year with those first round picks. They have 2 of them with all the chips they have with the Don, Pat Riley. And I had so much hope, and they can look so great at times. But the ankle sprain with Wiggins right after he got here, missing a week like that, I just feel like it's curtains for this year for Miami.
Well, the Clippers need to go on a run, and hopefully this is the start of that again. 119-104. And to wrap it up real quick, TD brings up a very good point. The Clippers are confusing. You don't know what team you're going to get. Couldn't have said it better myself. 100% correct. Jim, it's been a blast as always. We'll talk during baseball season, which is here right around the corner. We'll be doing baseball postcasts on the respective channels, the team channels. Now we're getting moved up from the minors to the bigs.
Right. Yeah. They're going to get our audience. We're going to get theirs. It's really nice what the network is doing, Pete, just growing by leaps and bounds. And a couple of vets like us, we're happy to be a part of it.
Indeed. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. It's the Locked On Clippers, Locked On Heat crossover postcast on the Locked On Sports LA and Miami YouTube channels. Take care. Have a good night.